The GTA Online Los Santos Drug Wars update has been out for a little while now. Players have been able to go through all of the current content on offer and figure out what works best for them. I've been able to play through all the content myself, and I've come to the conclusion of what are some good features and what are some bad features of this update, and we're going to cover all of that in this video. But just before all that, I want to let you guys know about another channel that I run. This channel covers everything related to CD Projekt Red, so this includes the Witcher and Cyberpunk series. 3 next-gen updates recently released for The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, and I've been doing loads of videos on that, and you can check all of those videos out on that channel, and a link to that channel can be found in the description below. So please be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any content just like this. Let's get into it. So first of all, we're going to start with the worst features, and then we'll move on to the best features. So first up, we have the nerf to the Caprico heist. Yes, there has been another nerf to this heist, which is a little bit disappointing, to be honest. In the Caprico heist, the enemies are now going to detect dead bodies. This does mean that you're going to have to put way more thought into this heist. When you're going around killing the enemies, you're going to have to be extra careful of where you kill them, since another enemy may walk past and see that dead body. Now, some players are able to complete this heist with barely killing anyone, so it won't really cause much of an issue, but for some other players, this will make the heist pretty challenging and quite tough to complete, to be honest. It could mean that for a lot of players, the heist is going to take longer to complete, and then add that on with the new cooldown for the heist, then you're going to not be playing as many Caprico heists as you may have done before. So in general, it's a bit disappointing to see another nerf to this heist, but if Rockstar think that that balances out the game, then maybe it's a good thing. So next up is probably my least favourite part of any GTA Online update, and that is drip-fed content. So for those of you that don't know what drip-fed content is, it's basically content that gets added with an update, yet it's not set live to players until later down the line, and when it is set live, there will be no downloadable update, it will just instantly be available to players. Now, Rockstar Games like to use this a lot. Now, if Rockstar were to just use it with vehicles and some general, just vehicles and weapons and stuff like that, I wouldn't be too bothered, but it's the fact that they also use it with all of the content. This became particularly noticeable with the Criminal Enterprises update, and it's continued with this Los Santos Drug Wars update as well. On day 1 of this Drug Wars update, all we really got was the 6 new story missions, and in terms of content, that was pretty much it really. Once you've been on the game for just a couple hours, you'd practically finished everything that there was for the day 1 of this update. Then later down the line, it looks like we're going to be getting another 6 story missions. There's also a new taxi business arriving with this update, but even that isn't in the game yet. We're going to have to wait for that to arrive as well. Then of course, there's all of the vehicles and weapons and everything like that that haven't been released yet. With the Criminal Enterprises update, it took until literally just before this update released for all of that drip-fed content to be finished. So to be able to play through the rest of the new story missions and to be able to see all the new weapons and cars and to play the new taxi business, we could be waiting months and months to be able to play all of that. Which, to be honest, in my opinion, that is just too long to wait. I think it's fine if it's just for cars and weapons and everything like that, but I think that when you're, holding back content to release, I think that's just a bit too much. And on day 1 of the update, there really wasn't much to play at all, and still to this day, there really isn't that much to play. We're having to wait till each week for new content to be released. Now, of course, for Rockstar, there is a big plus side to this, as it keeps players coming back to the game each week to check out the new content, which I can totally understand, and that's the main reason that they do this. But obviously, it can make the release day for the new update pretty underwhelming, like it did with the Criminal Enterprises update and with this Los Santos Drug Wars update. But that's not to say that the content that released was bad. I thought the content that released was very, very good, and I'll get onto that later. Now, to be honest, in terms of negatives for this update, so far, that's about it. Obviously, we haven't actually got much for the update yet, so I'm sure there may be a few more later down the line, but for right now, that's all of the negatives that there is. So let's get on to the best parts of the Los Santos Drug Wars DLC. So we're going to start with the new 6 story missions. Obviously, we don't have all of these story missions yet, but the ones that we do have are really, really good. First of all, these are completely free to play through. You literally need no money at all to be able to play through these. You can just go straight into them. You'll get a phone call, and then you'll be able to go straight into these missions as a beginner, which is really, really good, and it's definitely content that beginners should be playing through. Not only that, these missions are actually really good fun. They're both very different from each other, and yeah, they're good fun to play through, and it's something different in GTA Online, which is, yeah, that's nothing to complain about, to be honest. So I really do think that these missions were a good addition from Rockstar, and not only that, you also get a business at the end of this. You can, for $750,000, you can purchase the Acid Lab inside of the MTL Brigade vehicle. And this Acid Lab is basically like the MC businesses, and it's a solid business, to be honest. Obviously, it's not the best in the game, but it definitely gets the job done, and it's nice that we have this extra bit of content there as well. So I literally have 0 complaints in terms of the new story missions. Obviously, the only complaint I could have is that we don't have all of the story missions yet, but other than that, there's really no complaints. Of the actual content that did arrive, there's no complaints there. So next up, we have the new skydiving missions, and in terms of content, these are literally the 2 bits that we have at the moment. Now, these skydiving activities can be found around the map. I think these are particularly useful for those veteran players that don't really have much to play through in the game, and they've got these new challenges to go through, and I think it's a good bit of content to have there on the side. The missions are some decent fun, and they're in different locations on the map, so they do vary a bit as well. It's just nice to have those small activities on the side to work towards, and it's nice that Rockstar have added this for those players that would enjoy them. So now we're on to the improvements with this update, and there are loads of new improvements, which is great to see, and a lot of them are really nice. So one of these is that you are now able to select certain contacts you have on your phone, and you can deselect others that you don't want. For example, there might be some people that you literally never get phone calls from, or you just never interact with at all, and you can just hide them from your phone so they will no longer be visible and they won't be getting in the way. As there's more content getting added to the game, there's more and more contacts getting added to your phone, so it's nice to be able to tidy this up. Next up, we have that vehicles will now be delivered to your garage faster. Before, when you would purchase a vehicle, you'd have to wait a good while before you could actually use it, but now you'll be able to use your new vehicle within under a minute, which is really nice. You'll be able to basically go straight to a garage and pick it up. So still on the garage side of things, you can actually now request bicycles from the mechanic, and instead of having to, like before, you'd have to go all the way to your garage to actually be able to use a bicycle or a BMX, but now you can just call this in and it will spawn nearby, just like you would with a car or motorcycle. This is really nice, since before it'd be cool to use some bicycles at points in games if you're just trying to have fun, and you couldn't really do this in GTA Online, to be honest. It was kind of tough, since you'd have to go to the garage and then take it to the location that you wanted to use it at, and since they weren't very fast, this could take a very long time. So it's nice to be able to use a fast vehicle to get to the location you want to get to, and then you can call in the bicycle from there. So next up, we have that hangar missions have been increased in payouts, and this is really nice. Before, they were pretty pointless, to be honest. The payouts were, well, awful, but now this is pretty much on par with the vehicle warehouse missions and the special cargo warehouse, and it's really nice to see that, you know, it makes them more worthwhile and it makes it less meaningless, which is nice to see, and it makes the content more worth playing through, since, to be honest, there's probably a lot of players that have never played through these hangar missions since they're just pointless and you would earn no money from them, but now they're actually somewhat worth it. Of course, it's not the best money making method in the game, but it's still a very good option now, so yeah, it's definitely worth playing through. So next up, we have the improved graphics on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S. On the expanded and enhanced version of GTA 5, there is now improved graphics on the fidelity graphics option. Unfortunately, this graphics option is capped at 30 frames per second, which is a little bit disappointing, and it will stop the majority of players from using it, but if you just want to check it out, then it's awesome, since there is new ray traced reflections. This does mean that your character will now reflect on windows, and the general lighting will reflect on cars and everything like that, making the game look way more atmospheric and immersive, and it's really nice. If you're on, say, a 4K TV, then it could be worth enabling this. You'll be getting a high resolution and you'll be getting the best graphics possible in GTA 5. There's literally no better way to get graphics unless you're using mods on PC. And to be honest, that's one of the best improvements that we've got. There's nothing better really than getting improved graphics on the game. Obviously, the only downside that it is 30 frames per second, but other than that, these are some really nice graphical improvements. So there we go. Those are the best and worst things about this new GTA Online Los Santos Drug Wars DLC. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this video down in the comments, and if you agree with everything I've said. So if you did enjoy this video, please be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any content just like this. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.